Digimon or Digimon, very hard name to pronounce, and it did pretty much went to Mega. Right, episode 18 landed early this morning, and I've just watched it, and let's talk about it, shall we, for this thoughts review thing that I always do every Sunday. So the episode opens up somewhat where last week's episode left off, but we see a Roachimon returning, but then digivolving into a new Digimon called Digimon or Digimon, very hard name to pronounce, and it did pretty much went to Mega, and we cut, and the countdown continues, and we get scenes between real world and digital world because of the fake Tokyo that was happening within the episode as well, and split between the two. This indicates that Hikari and Takeru are definitely linked to them in a way, because during this we see two feathers come towards them, and it also showed their crests. Hikari's being the crest of light, and Takeru's being the crest of hope. So, and this triggers the Jogras evolution again. I'm just going to say Jogras or DNA Digivolution sequence for Megamon in this series, with just Greymon and Garurumon again, just like we saw in the earlier episodes, and that really is something that I want to talk about. It really seems to be when something's really dire to the point where they're not able to defeat them. I was really hoping that we wouldn't see Omegamon again. I was hoping that this might be the indication of our first time seeing War Greymon and Metal Garurumon for the first time, because that would have been in my eyes something slightly better in this instance than going straight to Omegamon, because as we've seen it with the series progressing, it's been Ultimate v Ultimate, or Champion v Champion, and then Champion fighting an Ultimate to then gain the power of the Ultimate to fight the Ultimate again to then defeat the Ultimate Digimon. And in this case, I was hoping for something different. I was hoping for a more, how about we decide to do let's introduce War Greymon and Metal Garurumon now, and then that could have mirrored and harken back in some similarities to when they fought the mega form of Venomyotismon, where they needed Angiwamon and Angimon's arrows to pierce them, to activate their warp digivolutions to Mega and Ultimate, and that's what I wanted to see in this. But that wasn't the case. We went straight to Omegamon again. Now, that was the little downside of this episode. But they managed to defeat the Digimon. But then after they defeat this Neogeomon, the Mega Digimon, the Mega form of Orochimon in this series, they defeat it. They made sure all this fake Tokyo is destroyed. But during this, there was this little infant baby Digimon that we couldn't really tell. It was shrouded in darkness. But we could see the eye, but we couldn't tell which Digimon it was, that activated this portal that swept Izzy and Co. minus Taichi and Yamato off somewhere else, and we do not know where they have. And this is where we get them first encounter with Devimon in front of Yamato and Taichi. And this has been one of those interesting cases where he just appeared as a sand sculpture and so nothing's harming him. And it turns out we see him also in this, he's actually in a castle-like structure. I don't know if that's meant to be similar to a castle-like structure he was in the original series, but it's one of those. But other than that's how this episode is. It literally was a decent episode. Definitely, I love how it went back and forth from the real world to the digital world. and the link between Hikari and Takeru with Yamato and Taichi were very strong there. Definitely when we saw the crests of light and hope forming, and I think those feathers are going to be turning into Takeru's and Hikari's Digivoices at some point. But it's nice to see that those two are going to be playing a bigger part later on, and they're filling out the role of the 7th and 8th chosen childs respectively in later on, and they're using that to be, because I still have a strong think that the Holy Digimon is going to be Ophanimon and Seraphiamon respectively, and we know those two's rookie forms are Patamon and Gatomon, or Tailmon in Japan, and that is where I'm going to end it there. But other than that, the only thing I didn't like about this episode is them using Omegamon again. That was one of the downsides of this episode. I was really hoping we would have seen glimpses of them going into War Greymon and Metal Garurumon in this episode, instead of them just going straight to Omegamon like they did in that recreation, retelling of our war game, but in a different sense at the beginning of the episode, at the beginning of the series. It just felt like a throw. It's like they're trapped in a corner, they need to defeat this Mega or to save Tokyo, and they're just going to throw Omegamon out. That's something I did not like this time. Now that they've gone on an adventure and they grew from rookie to champion to ultimate, it would have been a nice progression now to go with Mega as the next evolution to fight this Mega, not just throw in Omegamon. Because I thought having them two in Metal Garurumon and War Greymon would have been slightly better in this case. But I digress, and this is really what the episode was, and it was a shame that we ended up using Metal Omegamon again in this instance, and I don't feel like it needed to be done. I think they could have really introduced the Megas now at this point, and that's where I really feel like it really needed to do with it, and it just didn't feel right that they just used Omegamon again in this episode. I think it was about time that we did get War Greymon and Metal Garurumon introduced in this series, because that's what I thought would have been appropriate in this case. But other than that, this has been it was a good episode. I really did enjoy the episode. It was just a little bit of a letdown of them using Omegamon again in this case. And definitely, but it was interesting how Omegamon was formed, and it was linked in some way with the Crest of Hope and Crest of Light in this case, and with the bonds of the Crest of Friendship and Courage as well. But it was still a little bit of a letdown that we used Omegamon here instead of finally introducing their Mega evolutions in the series from this point. It really seemed like they could have done it differently at this case, and it really didn't feel like they needed to use Omegamon to defeat this guy. But other than that, I digress. It was definitely a fun episode. Just a little bit of a downpour that it was Omegamon again, and it just seemed like it could have been better. Other than that, comment down below what you liked and didn't like in this episode. Did you like that they used Omegamon again, or did you wish that they also went with War Greymon and Metal Garurumon? Leave a comment down below about your thoughts on this episode, and yeah, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. See ya. Another great episode, but slightly a little bit of a letdown, definitely with the whole Omegamon being used. But other than that, it was great. Like always, you can check out my last week's episode review on this side here, and check whatever appears on the side here. And don't forget to hit that don't forget to like the video, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press all, and then to be able to keep up to date with all my videos in the foreseeable future. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. See ya.